Average day is a hodgepodge of activities. I'll come in the afternoon, usually about 1:30. Go to an editorial meeting first thing, and there we'll lay out, what stories will be in the 10 o'clock news for that day, what stories are important, where they'll put reporters on which stories. And then from that point, my job as promotion producer is to figure out what stories are the most interesting that will hopefully grab the viewer's attention. Then we'll write scripts for anchors, reporters to read, whether in their field or whether they're in studio. We'll then combine this anchor script with the video, edit it into a spot, and our first spots will hit the air for the 5 o'clock news and about the 4 o'clock hour for the afternoon. And then we'll continue the process for 10 o'clock. For this job, deadline is your best friend as well as your enemy at times as well. It's definitely a time crunch. You have to get in there, hit the ground running, know what you're doing, plan out what you're doing, write really quickly, be able to adjust as needed for information that comes in, or old information may have to be taken out. So you just have to update, think on the fly, and it's kind of wash, rinse, repeat every day. You'll finish for the day and then come in again the next day, and it'll be a similar process, but the stories will be different every day. My favorite part of the job for me is everything changing every single day. It's not the same thing every day, and just also learning what is important every day, learning something new basically, being the first to find out about stories or things that are going on here in Phoenix and around the world. I first was interested in junior high, I would say, in news in general. I would be the one, or the kid watching newscasts, watching local news, reading newspapers, things like that, while other kids would be doing other things as well, I guess, watching cartoons or doing other things. And that sort of perked my interest in something with news. I wasn't sure exactly what yet. And then as I got into junior high, I got on school newspaper, started writing, figuring out what I liked, what I didn't. And then in high school, it was more about joining the newspaper staff. We didn't have necessarily a television production, but we had a newspaper staff. So I would work my way up from reporter to business manager, who handled like the revenue, advertising, sales, and then finally editor-in-chief my senior year. So I got a good mix of different aspects of journalism, I think. And then once I reached college, it was like, well, let's give television a try, because I've done newspaper, but I want to do something a little different. So I got involved in television media, journalism in college at Arizona State, and tried television and never left. Being able to complete assignments on time, I think, gives you real training for, meeting deadlines in news and journalism in general. Because no one's going to be there telling you you have to do this by a certain time. It's your responsibility to complete the project, complete your homework, do your assignments on time. And then also just being organized, I would say, is a huge thing. Being organized in what you're studying, whatever class you're going into. I would say junior high, to be really elementary, was just, hopefully they still offer something like this, computer classes, typing classes, just getting really fast with typing. Sometimes it's a lost art today, but just be able to really get the information in the computer, in the system, whatever you're doing, quickly. Another thing would just be social studies classes, being aware of what's happening in the world, not simply in the US, but around the world itself, current events. English class is definitely huge, learning how to write, speak correctly, think on your feet. I think government class is also a huge thing. Learning how even just our country works and operates can help you tremendously, and just being able to understand information in general, like not just knowing a little bit about this certain thing, but just being an overall generalist and knowing a little bit about everything. Besides just classroom training, getting a degree in broadcasting, it would be internships. Internships are a huge part of being in media, television, news, because you have to have practical experience, not simply classroom experience. So that's where I would learn, just what goes on in the field, what goes on behind the scenes, what a reporter goes through to get the story on television, what a deadline is, how a newsroom operates. And I think that was definitely a huge part of helping me figure out what I liked, what I didn't like, and to eventually go into television marketing and promotions. If you're interested in this area in news in general, just being someone who can adapt really easily to different things that are thrown at you, because news right now, journalism in general, is changing. More internet, more new media. So just being really savvy with the internet, which I'm sure everyone is, younger kids today are especially, but learning how to kind of navigate the web and get information quickly and as much of it as you can as possible, and be able to think on your feet and just be able to write really well. I think are the three things.